Hello! Today I'm going to be making a wig for the lady puppet. I don't have the actual puppet with me, but I have one of the little failed heads where you can see like the mouth is all cracked. This is perfect for doing a wig on because I don't spoil her actual head. I thought the best thing to do is to make a wig so that I can remove it in case anything goes wrong because I've never done this before. So you're going to need viscose, little scissors, some thread, a little brush, PVA glue or tacky glue, scrap fabric, a needle of some sort, rubber bands, they're always useful, some cling film, and a wide tooth comb. So let's go see how this is going to turn out. The first thing to do is to mark out the hairline. I am drawing it straight onto the head since I have a spare, but I wouldn't advise doing this if you only have one. So instead, draw it after the next step on top of the cling film. So here's the hairline. It goes right around the head. You want to make sure it's not too high up, otherwise she'll look like she has a receding hairline. The easy place to get reference is to look in the mirror at yourself if you are female. Or just Google it. So now the next step is to wrap it in cling film. Obviously this is to prevent the hair from sticking to the head. This is the reason why we're making a wig, because I don't have the actual puppet with me right now and we want to be able to take the wig off if necessary. So you want to pull it down tightly and try and get as little creases as possible. Try and push it firmly around the ear. And then what you want to do is to take an elastic band and tie it tightly at the bottom. So now that the head is wrapped in cling film, the next step is to cut out the fabric, which will act as the base of the wig to which we will glue the hair to. We want this to fit very snugly onto the lady's scalp. A good way to do this is to separate it into 4 parts: the front, back and sides. I'm going to start with the front. Place the fabric onto her head, draw the shape onto it, and cut it out. Cut little notches on the inner edges because this will help the fabric to follow the curved shape of the head. Then we will do the same thing for the sides of her head, and once one is cut out, then you can trace around the shape onto the fabric and cut it out for the other side. So here we have the front and side parts all cut out. We will glue them down before we cut out the back piece, because that way it'll be easier to see exactly which area we still need to cover. It is a good idea to put something down to protect the area that you are working on because it can get quite sticky and messy. I'm going to start with the front of the head. You simply want to brush on the PVA glue to the area where the fabric will go. Be careful around the hairline and follow the line that you previously drew and don't go beyond it. Then you line up the front piece of fabric along the hairline and press it down onto her head. Then put loads of glue on top of that, applying pressure to your brush stroke so that the glue seeps into the fabric. So that's the front bit done. Then do the same thing for the side parts. Now that the front and sides have been glued down, cut a piece of fabric a bit bigger than the rough size of the area that needs to be covered. Place this gently onto the back of her head. You can wait for the glue to dry first if you like. I didn't, and I didn't have a problem. Mark out the lines for you to cut on, and once again cut out notches along the sides, but not on her hairline. Brush some glue onto the back area of her head, including the area where the fabric will overlap. Then place the fabric onto it. Press it down and apply more glue. Apply another generous layer of glue onto the whole of her scalp and let it dry overnight. It is dry! I decided that the hairline was too far back, so I added an extra piece of material to her forehead and the back of the head. I also added about 3 more layers of glue yesterday throughout the day, giving it time to dry in between. So now that it's nice and firm and dry, it's time to start attaching the hair. We are going to glue the hair on in 6 sections. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. The first thing to do is to comb the viscose using a wide tooth comb. Hold the viscose firmly in one hand and comb it gently. This removes all the shorter, messier strands. Make sure you don't overcomb it, otherwise you will have nothing left. Save all of this because we will use it later, so put it aside. Divide the viscose into 6 parts. We will begin with this front section first. Brush glue onto this section all the way to the crown of the head, being very careful not to get any glue onto the cling film. Take one section of viscose and place it on the glue. Make sure it spreads out equally over the full section, with one end at the crown of her head and the rest going down her face. Apply some pressure to it and make sure it sticks to the glue, especially on her hairline. Then add a generous amount of glue to the ends at the crown, so that it all sticks down. Do the same thing for the other sections. Now her scalp is covered in hair and she looks like Cousin It. Put her aside to dry for about 10 to 15 minutes. Meanwhile, take the clump of stray bits of viscose that came out when you combed it, take something like a knitting needle, I used an awl, Place the edge of the viscose against the needle and hold it firmly. Begin twisting the needle. You'll find that the viscose starts to mat up. Continue to do this, smoothing it out as you go along. Then slide it off and you'll end up with a sausage of viscose. This will be what gives the hair its volume. Apply glue in a circle on her head and place the viscose on it like a halo. Turn the head upside down and very gently, using a needle, comb her hair where the 6 sections meet so that they blend in naturally. Then with some thread, tie the hair tightly but gently into a ponytail at the back of the head, depending on where you want the bun to be. Brush some glue over the thread to ensure that it stays in place. Cut off the ponytail, making sure you don't cut too close to the thread. In order to make the bun, take a length of viscose thick enough for the size of bun you would like to make. Twist it slightly and then tie a knot. Tuck one end back through the knot and pull it tightly. Cut off the excess hair and fold the ends into the bottom of the knot, which is the side that looks worse. Try and make a little well in the centre so that it will fit nicely over the stump of hair. Apply some glue to make sure they stay in place. Place plenty of glue over the stump and to the bottom of the bun, but not too much because we don't want to see any of the glue once it is placed on her head. Place the bun onto the stump and gently press it down onto the glue and leave it to dry.
Now we're at the studio and it's time to unwrap the head and to put it onto the puppet. Baldy. Unwrapping time. I can breathe! And we have another Baldy. Best friend. And there we go. With a nice helmet. Hair helmet. Let's see if it fits. Please fit. Yeah, this is so strange. This is so strange. It looks really weird. And there we go. She's so pretty. Obviously it just needs some glue. And I should add some little curls to it. So like the sides. And maybe like a little bit to the back to make it look more natural. So I hope you enjoyed that and found that helpful. So that's all for now. Bye. Bye. She looked lovely.
Except for the demon eyes.
Demon eyes. I like the demon eyes. I think they should stay.
No, I'm not going to do that.
What, are you going to turn her head round?
Yeah, like the Exorcist.
Do it, do it.
I don't.
Don't do it.
I don't know why she has to make grudge noises as well. What did you say? Shouldn't have done that. Fix it later.